Okay, go.
Do you believe beauty should be as an identifier in a way for people?
If you choose it to be, sure.
When we first meet people, our first impression is how we physically see them. Is that person attractive? Is that person unattractive? Are they tall, short, blonde, brunette, ginger? And I think those things definitely work as an identifier for some people.
I think there's risk in identifying as the way you look. It can be like one of them, but I don't ever think it should be the most important.
No, I think that stuff that I would classify as my identifiers would definitely be my love of reading.
You're a reader.
I'm a reader?
You're an avid reader.
Would you say animal lover is an identifier for you?
Oh, yeah.
Very much so?
Yeah. Except, I guess, hypocrite would be another one because I'm not a vegetarian. Well, what do you think are your identifiers? How would you describe yourself if someone asked you?
So what would my identifiers be?
Conceited. Prissy.
What would your identifiers be?
I don't know.
Bossy.
Yeah.
That's about it. Bibliophile. Big nerd on many things. I'm really geeky stuff.
And like a dating profile. What would you say?
Funny.
And why do you sound like you're questioning that?
Because I don't like that. That's why I hate dating profiles. Like,
oh my god, how would you describe me? If you could use 5 words to describe me, what would they be?
independent, self-assured, observant, bossy. Not bossy. I don't like bossy. I feel like bossy's too juvenile. What did I have?
Observant.
Observant.
Independent.
Independent.
Which is funny because if Alex is around, that one goes out the door.
Yeah, that one goes out the door. You get on the floor, babe.
Give me something.
Help
He hit me.
no one's touched you.
Babe, save me. I think I like regress to a 6-year-old when Alex is around.
You do.
Because I know I can just whine.
It's funny because you've tried that with me and it doesn't work.
But he's an enabler. Like if one time he was like, get off your fat ass and do it yourself, then I would probably be like, damn, you're right.
Alex, you're here like every 7 episodes, but
He shows up every once in a while.
you're great.
Let's just talk about Alex.
No. I hate it when people use diets as their identities. We're not going to say the word. I think people know what we're talking about, but I feel like when you use that as your identity, you're abusing the term.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever go up to people like, hi, my name's Jalen Rocha, I'm asexual. I don't ever say that. Or I don't ever say...
Except that was like the last words you said in your teaser.
Because that's the point of the show. That's different. In real life, I'm...
Hypocrite! Hi, I'm London, I'm an asshole.
Did you do that?
I think I've said that.
I don't like when people make other people their identities either.
Ooh, like relationships that can't function apart.
Yeah, when couples become like one.
Like when they share a Facebook.
So what 5 words would you use to describe me?
You?
Yeah.
Prissy, conceited. You're very aware that you're cute. Well-spoken, calculated.
Does it make you sound like...
I mean, you kind of are though. You're very, not in a bad way. I think that those words get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Because you're not manipulative with the way that you are. I think that you, in olden times, would have done really well. But I think now there's such an emphasis on letting your flaws hang out. There's like almost an appreciation of being shitty.
I guess it's like those,
There's no more saving face.
like the no makeup photos, or just like when people are like, here's a lovely photo of me, then here's a photo of me, like the
exactly.
weird ones.
Like you are still in the age of like, save face, make sure we always present well, that kind of thing. So I would say that you are kind of calculated, but I wouldn't say that it's from a negative place. I just think that that's how you hold yourself.
Would you consider an artist an identifier for you?
No, I have such a fear of calling myself an artist, purely because I don't think I deserve it. I don't feel that I dedicate enough time, or I don't dedicate enough of myself to my art to warrant that title. Like, when I think artist, I think of someone who is constantly creating. They are driven to do that. They almost need to as an expression. And I don't feel the same way. Mine is more of I kind of feel like painting right now. And then I paint something, and if I like it, I keep it. If I don't, I paint it white and save the canvas for another time.
Really? Because in my mind, you are one of the people who I think, like, if I need something artistically done, I think of you. You're the person I think of. I'm like, because you know how to paint. You know, have a good idea of sewing. You know how to write. To me, like, you are one of the few people I consider in my life who's like at the peak of like artistic levels, just because you're very creative. I can't ever see you working like a very like organized job where you have a very set schedule. Like, because you are very loose schedule. You'll be like, hey, let's meet up at 9. Let's meet up at 10. Let's meet up at 11. I just woke up. It's 12:30.
I'm so tired. Let's meet up and take a nap.
Then I pick you up and I'm like, have you eaten? Yeah. And we're about to pull into my apartment. Let's go to Whataburger. Okay. Then we go around. Then she's like, no, let's go Taco Bell. Okay. Yeah.
I can't do schedules.
We're complete opposites. You realize how weird that our friendship is?
I love making plans, but I also understand that I'm not going to stick to them. I've learned to plan gaps for myself.
Okay.
I give myself time gaps.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not going to stick to a plan.
Like I wake up and then like my
You were
day
very
starts.
orderly.
Yeah.
That's your last one. Orderly.
Orderly?
Yeah.
I sound like a very controlled person.
Well, I think you do like control. I like control in a different way.
I
think we both value control.
Yeah. So I guess my 5 words for you would be
Messy.
no.
Messy should be in there.
No. I would say spontaneous.
Yeah.
You're very spontaneous. Assertive. Not bossy. I like assertive more.
Assertive is good.
Assertive's good. I
Yeah,
hate
no.
it when people like think that women, like whenever women's being in control, like it's bitchy. When a man's in control, he's being a boss. No, it's the same thing. Outgoing. You're definitely an outgoing person compared to me. I would classify you as artistic, whether you classify yourself that or not. A little lazy.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I'd make that thumb a lot bigger. I have to fight myself constantly.
I mean, 3 videos ago you were on the floor.
Yeah.
So, personality can say a lot about a person. There's definitely like key traits. Inside Out, how like there's those 5 little personalities in your head, but there's like that one that leads the group, but Joy's like the head personality. I do think like there's key personality traits there.
I wonder who would be my lead. I think yours would be disgust.
Really?
Driven by a need to keep things clean and like
Yeah.
kind of judgy.
I wouldn't not say fear at all. Fear and anger are definitely low there. I
For
don't.
you?
Yeah.
I feel like anger is kind of high for me. I feel like
You get passionate about
I think
things.
joy and anger split control for me. Like most of the time I'm happy, but sometimes I'm just enraged.
Like, you
My
just-
love!
Alex is here?
Alex!
Oh, are we still filming?
Yeah!
Okay.
We're filming.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's perfect. We were actually talking about how you're never here.
Oh.
Baby, you can help. What are 5 words you would use to describe me?
Strong, independent,
Unless you're here.
goofy. Oh, honest. Last one. There's a lot, but if you had to pick the best one,
I'm not saying best, I'm saying truthful. Don't pick the
Truthful?
good ones, pick the real ones.
I have no
all
back
those were
qualities.
real.
I'm wonderful.
Malicious is a good one.
Do you think I'm malicious?
Not against me.
I don't think I'm malicious. I am not. What's the last time I was willfully
Okay, not malicious isn't a good word. It would be more
what, vindictive?
you hate people, but you're justified in hating them, so it's not really malicious. But
Huh?
I'm
Like-
the bad person here.
I
if
don't
someone
understand.
if someone slights you, it's just like I will never forgive.
So then vindictive.
Vindictive, I guess, is.
I'm kind to a point.
What do you think people should use as identifiers, Alex?
I think a lot of problems come from when people use identifiers that there's too much like personal pride or something in. A lot of stuff that identifies you against something else, but it's an us versus them. That becomes a problem.
Do you think if your identifier creates an echo chamber, is it not a good identifier?
No, I agree. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it's odd to use identifiers of things that you didn't choose.
True.
Yeah.
Like to be prideful of something that was completely coincidental.
I wish we lived in a world where we didn't see color. I know it's helpful as an identifier.
I think you should see color, but only to the point of you should see culture more. Like,
Sure.
if you don't see any of that, then people are losing out on things that matter to them,
Well,
you
then
know?
there's also the problem of once you have the identifier that's a giant, huge culture or whatever, then there's no individual anymore.
I think what would be better than
Imagination
seeing
of them.
no culture would be more recognizing that concentric circles of identifiers are just that. But I do think that you should never be ashamed of them. I think identifiers
Locked in
can
a-
be as broad or as minuscule as you choose it to be.
I don't know. I personally believe that when it comes to identifiers, that they can change. I don't think you should ever
They
be
are
like
fluid.
they're fluid. They're very fluid. You should never just choose one thing to identify you because you may learn something about it later on that you don't agree with, or like your perspective on something may change. So never be too afraid or too scared to not always identify with that because I mean you grow as a person, you get older, things change, things happen, you learn more stuff. So stuff definitely doesn't always stay the same from when you were a child to when you're an adult. So you should never feel like you have to live up to that expectation. Just be you. And I think that's the best that any of us can really do, honestly. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Asexual's Almanac. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much. You'll have a lovely night.